The Emmy-winning comedy Scrubs is back. The beloved original cast, led by Zach Braff, Donald Faison, and Sarah Chalk, have returned to Sacred Heart Hospital for all new hilarious and heartfelt stories.
The new season of Scrubs, new Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
To be honest, there was a real thing in Seattle where ambition was kind of looked down upon. You know?
I can see that.
But the one at 10, I was pretty hammered. You know? That was a surprise. Well, they sent me the script. Dana, we were gonna.
Yeah, for a moment.
I was excited for SNL.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even believe you were even possibly going to do that with me. I was.
And then next thing you know, they had me dressed up as a pirate.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't really agree to that.
Edward Vedder. You know him as Eddie Vedder. I know him as Ed. Mm-hmm. Very good friend.
Singer-songwriter. Was one of the original, the Pearl Jam.
Everybody knows Pearl Jam.
One of the iconic bands out of Seattle in the 90s. And so we got to talk to Eddie Vedder, which was really, really interesting.
He's got a documentary out about EB, which is a skin condition, which is quite a rough ride.
And he has spent 15 years, along with his wife, battling this disease with benefits that you and I have done to raise money for research, and they're making
scientists,
progress. So.
Got everyone on board, everyone on deck.
So,
on a lighter note, when I was on SNL, I remember that I did a joke where I go, Stone Temple Pilots have a new album. I liked these guys the first time I saw them, when they were called Pearl Jam. It was one of those.
Oh, really? So as if it was a total rip-off.
Yeah, and then, because he's like, and I feel around where to go.
What I'm
Or
going.
here's it raining in your bedroom, and I see. So then Stone Temple came on about 4 months later, and then Marcy Klein comes up and she goes, David Stone Temple wants you to come down to rehearsal. And I go, oh. And then she goes, actually, wait, don't go. The guy wants to kick the shit out of you. And I go, oh.
Oh, okay, that hit too close for home. A joke saying you're kind of like this band. That's bands don't want to hear that. Although Eddie Vedder he's got the voice. He's got a voice that's instantly, with its phrasing and his tenor, is instantly recognizable.
Yes, I take him through the top rock voices of all time, and I told him, I said, I can't promise you're on it. It's whatever my list is, my list. Don't get mad.
That was a tense moment in the interview.
And but Scott Weiland, actually, just to say as a caveat, that did happen. But I did run into him years later, because I do like Stone Temple Pilots. Most people made fun of him.
They're great.
And so he was changed his tune. It was very cool. Very cool.
It's hard to explain that in that particular joke, the triple name, there's an official, like a Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah. There was probably a reason that you picked that band, because you could have picked Creed or, whatever.
You would have picked Helen Reddy.
With eyes wide open.
All
They're great.
But anyway, back to Eddie Vedder.
Oh, right. Eddie Vedder is our
lot of fun. We crack up.
Thoughtful and interesting interview, and we do laugh a lot.
And for those deep dive, fly on the wall, frequent flyers, we do Gervitz, because he knows Gervitz. So look for that.
Mark Gervitz is a very good friend, and he's our manager. And so we always do this. Well, David really started it.
Make fun of Mark
it doesn't really sound like him, but it's funny. It's a frequency. It's an exaggeration.
It's funnier the way we do it than the real life.
Yeah. Well, I love impressions that go to an abstraction.
All right, here's our boy.
Gotta do it. Thanks for coming on. What do you want to talk about?
Hi, Eddie.
Can you hear us?
Hey, David, I can hear you great.
Good.
Eddie, I have a cool hat like that, too.
We've traded hats before.
Are you sure?
Yeah. There it is. You still got it.
Wow.
It's a little sweaty, because as you can see, because I'm a bit of a rocker, and sometimes I sweat when I'm working.
We're kind of rockers too, in a way. I mean, not in the way you are, but
Oh, I would say absolutely you are.
No. We're. I guess that's the pinnacle in a way, as a little kid, of just in a band. I mean, I was in a band with my brother. I had a Hardy Boys book as a snare, and a kick drum was a basket, one string guitar. We all start out that way. And then at some point we go, maybe not my
when the money's not flowing.
when the money's no, I got out of that in high school. But what about what do you want to talk about? Would you like to talk about your Netflix special first? You can run this show any way you want, and then we'll
Well, you know what? I mean, as heartbreaking as the ED subject can be, though also hopeful. Another heartbreaking thing that has been on my mind was the loss of Catherine O'Hara, and I just wanted to look. I'm chills already. You know, really only having met her 5 different times over the years. You know, and compared to the way you know her, you know, I was just absolutely gutted, and I wished all the people that had never had the chance to be in her presence and to have a laugh. And she was everything and more that you'd expect or dream of her being. She was just such an incredible energy, and that loss is so profound, and that's why that's been on my mind.
For sure. Yeah, over here too with me and Dana.
Yeah,
Dana spent more time with her than I did, but man, you can't find anyone that doesn't love Catherine O'Hara out there.
Yeah, and just an effortless, brilliant performer, always making the choice you don't expect, making her peers laugh and the whole world laugh. And her presence, just no apparent ego or whatever you call that. I mean, she knew who she was, but it's just, I don't know if it's Canadian or what. There's John Candy and others. They're just sort of extra. So
Marty Short as well.
Marty Short, another
another
home run hitter.
I guess it's okay to say, her memorial at the Catholic Church this past weekend, and it was really, really emotional. And Marty gave the eulogy, and he was special, funny, and
they always got to make some jokes in because it's so heavy, it's so hard.
Because she would want it that way. I mean, they. You know, comedians kind of, you know, want the music to carry on, really. Of course, we're all sad, but we have all this stuff of her brilliance to share for a long time, forever.
I heard her sister was in attendance, obviously, but Mary Margaret, who's put out some great music that affected me deeply.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had a great album, probably even in the late 80s. I think Michael Stipe helped with it. It was called Miss America. If you watch, David Sanborn used to have a show. Was it?
David Sanborn. Yeah, I remember that show.
Late Show, and he'd get all these interesting musicians together. And she, I think the song's called When You Know. But if you look up her on that show, it's such a cool performance, and you can see the sisterhood there.
It's kind of interesting. We have this in our world too, because I was looking up some of, you know, the bands of the 90s in Seattle and all that, and just I was just going to say, and then it had a list of like 50 other what they were calling grunge, which I want to ask you about the names of rock over the years, you know, punk and grunge, and hard rock, alternative rock, you know,
soft rock.
So you must have known and know so many bands that didn't break through, quote unquote, and maybe that wasn't even their goal. I mean, the goal for me was always that this would be my job, and I'll see how it goes. But that was the dream. What about you?
Well, and before I forget, Night Music was the name of the
David Sanborn Night Music, wherever you get your David Sanborn night music shows,
variety shows.
Well, you know, my main, after I graduated from things like Jackson 5 and Motown when I was a kid, and then I had kind of some older brothers because I was in a group home thing that my parents helped run. So then I was turned on to a lot of Sly Family Stone and James Brown and kind of more adult Motown music and Stax and all that. And then there was, you know, kind of Beatles, but then it became the Who and the Kinks and to the Jam. And but the 60s British stuff and Stones, etc., you know, that seemed like the most exciting time to be alive. You know, when I was 15, listening to and enveloped and engrossed in all that British invasion stuff. It seemed like Tuesday nights at the Marquee for the Who, and you know, all those bands getting together, or Hendrix showing up and blowing everybody's minds.
Yeah,
that seemed like the coolest time to be alive. And you would read about it and think what it would have been like to, you know, I was born too late, you know, if you could have, and in the wrong place, if you wanted to be part of what was kind of one of the most, if not the most extraordinary periods of music. And then kind of waking up one day, I remember almost to the day, waking up and looking around and all of a sudden being part of a scene, a legitimate scene that was a community and was all very supportive of each other. And so of all the bands of note, you know, Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, and then first there was Mother Love Bone, which turned into Pearl Jam, but was Green River before that, and then Green River, half of it turned into Mudhoney.
Yeah.
It's like the Fastbacks and the U-Men and, you know, these groups that didn't quite
different levels.
Yeah, well, and I, Dana, you mentioned it. You know, maybe that wasn't part of either their goal or their ambition, because to be honest, there was a real thing in Seattle where ambition was kind of looked down upon. You know?
I could see that. That's what the vibe was from afar. Like, we're
And
not trying to be cool or commercial. We got something to say.
It actually hurts us the bigger we get. I mean, you guys took off. It seemed so fast. It probably was not as fast.
I don't know if anyone had a bigger first album. I mean, it's like sort of like, it's like just. You know.
Was 91 that out? Because I looked up in 91, some monster albums came out in one year. And I think you probably heard this, but it was like Nirvana, Pearl Jam. I think it was maybe Metallica, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion. I was like shocked by how many bangers in a row in an 8-month period came out. And we tried to slurp them all over to SNL. We didn't get everybody. But one of my early shows was you.
We got Pearl Jam.
Sharon Stone show.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone. Phil was alive. Phil Hartman.
Oh, yeah.
I still have.
You had a good pocket there when you got on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You have something with Phil? You got a fit photo?
Polaroid was Lovitz and Phil sitting at the end of the night, and I came across those recently, and it was powerful to see. And you know, not only having been like a devotee of the show since staying up late when I was 12 or whatever it was just such a formidable yet completely enjoyable experience to actually, you know, be in those hallowed halls. And I still remember making friends with a couple of the old dudes, you know, the crew guys, or the guy who sits in the silver chair with the Saturday Night Live kind of calligraphy on the back. And, you know, going back and seeing those people over the years was always real exciting, you know, or getting to meet Don Pardo, or, you know, all that stuff is.
You came on twice. You came on twice, and I saw in my deep research, even though I know you a little bit. But, I think the second time you came on, you got 3 songs. That is so rare. Is that true? Because I think you had maybe Better Man or Daughter. Something. You had 3, and the first time it was Alive and something else, and I thought, holy shit, look at this spoiled dude. You get 3 they roll in with.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It was to us. We were like, shit, man.
I don't think they told us until after the first rehearsal show, right? So you do a first show at 6 or something?
Yeah, dress rehearsal, yeah.
In between, they said, do you want to do one more? So
got anything else?
What that means is 1 or 2 of the skits or whatever.
Yeah, Gap Girls got cut for you. Thank you.
So I don't think it was based on what we were offering. I think it was the lack of Good response.
Lack of sketches. Yeah, everything bombed.
Yeah, we bombed.
Norm Macdonald doing news at that point? Was it Norm?
Was Norm doing the news? It's a good question because it was 91 and 93. It was probably
It was Kevin Nealon and then
Kevin.
Norm.
Oh, it might have been Kevin.
Yeah.
Might have been the end of Dennis on the first one because 91, that was probably my first year.
Yeah.
And Eddie and I are very close to the same age. We won't say any numbers out there, but
yeah.
You had a birthday recently, and I was like, okay.
I'm a half step up.
How was that? That was fun.
I'm a half step up. So when I heard the 90s sound come in and from Seattle, let's say, it did feel like something new, its own little mini renaissance. It was different. You know, there were hair bands in the 80s and stuff. There was, I don't know, it was a different sound, which I appreciated a lot. I just love hard rock. I love whatever you guys were doing. I mean, but I was
Poison out of business.
Poison. Well, what I wouldn't want to pick on those bands, but
but it was sort of a shift.
It was a shift. It was very cool.
The Emmy-winning comedy Scrubs is back to ABC with a fresh pulse. It's been 15 years since we've checked in with the gang at Sacred Heart Hospital. The beloved original cast, Zach Braff, Donald Faison, and Sarah Chalk, scrub back in. Older and maybe wiser. Judy Reyes, John C. McGinley also reprised their iconic roles. And Scrub fans, you'll be thrilled to see some of your fan-favorite characters pop up, though we can't reveal any names just yet. After creating hits like Ted Lasso and Shrinking, executive producer Bill Lawrence has put together a diverse, talented group of writers to bring to life the Scrubs universe of today. And there's a healthy injection of super funny, colorful new characters, including a fresh group of newbie interns and co-workers / nemesis like Vanessa Bayer and Joel Kim Booster.
The new season of Scrubs, new Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu. You know, every year, David, I think we can unequivocally say this, we make resolutions that somehow never stick.
Right.
But this year, I've found the one resolution that actually works.
Okay.
Grunes is the simple daily habit that succeeds where extreme resolutions fail, delivering real benefits with minimal effort. If you haven't heard me talk about Grunes before, they're a convenient, comprehensive formula packed into a daily snack pack of gummies. This isn't just a multivitamin, a greens gummy, or a prebiotic. It's all those things and then some at a fraction of the price.
Plus, I don't know if you know this, bonus, it tastes amazing. Each pack is vegan, nut-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, and free from artificial colors and flavors, with over 20 vitamins and minerals, 60 ingredients, including nutrient-dense and whole food ingredients, and 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. That's more fiber than 2 cups of broccoli. Grunes does the heavy lifting while it feels like doing the least.
There's even Grunes Kids with, get this, 21 plus essential vitamins and 60 plus ingredients, including nutrient dense and whole foods to support immunity and development.
Kick off your new year right and save up to 52% off with code FOTW at grunes.co. That's FOTW at GRUNS.co.
There's only 2 quick things I wanted to ask you very quickly, just about, because I heard about The Who and Neil Young. You maybe like them, but I thought of Roger Daltrey and you, and I did connect the dots between, there's some symmetry there with the big voice and also can go really soft. So who's next? The A side is maybe as good as anything that's ever been recorded in my mind. And then Neil Young was maybe the father of grunge with Rust Never Sleeps. Or Hey, Hey, My, Electric, Kong, Kong, you know. So I heard you love those 2 things, so I just wanted to co-sign that.
Well, yeah, I think Neil has been given the moniker of Godfather of grunge, not just because of the flannel, but because of the sound.
Yeah.
And his sound up close, you know, one of the very fortunate things, having worked with him and playing live, is the sound of his amp up close. It's like standing next to an erupting volcano
For sure.
or the biggest wave at Waimea Bay crashing onto the shore. And then he seems to kind of lose himself in this way where he kind of starts shape shifting and kind of turns into like a shaman, and then he seems like he's an old Indian, and then he turns into like a young kid, and you're like in the cage with the lion, It's
Yeah.
It will vibrate your souls, your cells.
It's unique because he looks like he's almost struggling or sort of spastic in a way when he gets into that trance. And then when I listened to his solo on Quartet's The Killer, which I got to hang out with him a few times and told him what it meant to me, how that song, first of all, is like, and then his solo in that. And no one plays like Neil. There's others equally brilliant, but he has his own lane. It's this magic, magic.
Yeah, he channels, he really channels, and in order to do that, you have to be in tune to, the energy, the whatever's out there, and that's a skill in itself, beyond, the notes seem to come not from a scale, they seem to come from a divine.
To stay a child or be in touch with that when your higher consciousness hadn't kicked in and you're just being playful, like a 4-year-old drawing, and yet you're a human adult. And then when you get in touch with that part of you, boy, it's a lot of a creative explosion. But Neil always felt like he was there somehow. It's like a child up there in a way, in the purest form.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way you just explained it, I think of some of the stuff we watch you guys do. There's still that playful and improvisational, you could say it's from doing a lot of reps, but it's also, I think it comes from, being, still having maintained that freedom and flexibility of, because then that's what becomes, so funny and so spot on or so quick.
You can, I think like music and stand up, as it's probably similar in the way that I could do a show and in 3 nights, same theater, and then they're all just a hair different and no one would really notice, but I can tell this crowd was a little like this. I was more like this. I kind of adapted to that. And it's funny how they can be a little different every night. And maybe it's not as noticeable to people, but maybe it is, but I think that's what music is. It's still the same set. I'm still doing what I'm doing. Like you're going to do the same set list, let's say, but you can tell some nights are a little different and you're rolling with something a little harder. You're getting into something a little different that you have before. And that's kind of the fun of it. And it's not just a rubber stamping. It can go almost anywhere.
And do you get nervous before you play? Yeah,
I still do. Dana doesn't get as nervous, but
when you're dancing for your donuts, like you're auditioning for Lorne Michaels and you're 30 years old, that's a different kind of nervousness. But now I do feel responsibility as comedians, we're supposed to kill, quote unquote. We're supposed to destroy. We're supposed to levitate the room. This is slay. Yeah. And I think that, I don't know if you have this, but if a night's a little bit off, the voice in the back of your head is still giving yourself notes a little bit while you're singing, while you're playing. You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. That's not going well. When that goes dead quiet, then you're in the zone. And nothing matters except expressing the rhythm of the words that you want to do in that moment, or if it's nonverbal, which is even better. And you want to get to that playful state, and you don't always get to it. That's why when it happens, have you had a moment like that in the studio or a live recording where you just went to another place and then you listen to yourself back and you go, man, they call it being in the zone. It's fun. Yeah.
There was a vocal on the last, or not the last record. It was a solo record called Earthling. But
yes, 2022. Andrew Wyatt, Ringo, Elton John, and Stevie Wonder.
Andrew Wyatt,
Andrew Wyatt. He records every album.
Chad Smith and
Chad.
Jesus.
But it was funny. I found out later there was one of the vocals. It was put together of 2 vocals, and one was at about 5 in the afternoon or evening. And then the other one was at 10 once we got it put together. Mm-hmm. You can't tell the difference. But the one at 10, I was pretty hammered. Listening to.
Well, yeah, we get that.
And it was kind of amazing. And I was in a different form of being in the zone. I was just feeling it. And by that time, the words and the phrasing had come together. But I was just, so I remember that Or I remember not remembering that.
That's good.
And then hearing it back, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And didn't realize that the vocal, that they had been 5 hours apart, but they actually sounded.
Did you tell the difference in listening to it?
No, I couldn't. I was surprised to hear that it was
that
the
you
two.
did a second.
Listening to your speaking voice, it's kind of your singing voice. I wonder when the first time you went, holy shit, I can sing. Because it is a voice.
Good voice.
You're one of the voices.
Yeah.
It must
It
have
hasn't
been
happened yet.
That's also good. We all think
I'm waiting.
Everything is
still blossoming.
Sure.
This is very nice to hear. I'll take that.
I have some more
Well,
compliments.
you're the voice. I mean, you could just go on Google and Google your name. Who are the?
I was guessing top rock voices, and I scribbled some down, but I don't know if you'll agree. But I was like, mine are right, so you guys can agree or not.
Well, I hope Eddie's on the list.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Tiny Tim.
We're going back.
And then I got a shot. If you start with Tiny Tim, I think I might.
Tiny Tim got mentioned on the podcast. That is a first.
Tiny Tim was the
very happy
carrot top of his.
Yeah.
No, I you know what? I know the ones that get mentioned a lot. I mean, Axl's got a very unique voice. Robert Plant, of course, the basics. But Bon Scott, would you give it up for Bon Scott?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that sickening, Dana? I love Bon Scott, and it was so hard to play. But Steve Perry,
Ernie was, and the notes that guy hit, it's like
right,
pretty impressive.
Eddie, you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Even I'm not saying even. Sting has a very unique voice.
Oh yeah. No, Sting's voice can cut through the clouds. And he does some early stuff. Sometimes friends will come over and I'll play them stuff they have never heard. He worked with this German guy called Eberhard Schoner, and he just does some insane stuff with his. At one point, he basically sings the phone book, meaning an article in a San Francisco paper or something.
Yeah.
And what he does with it is so extraordinary.
When you look at,
not to mention he's an incredible bass player.
Yeah, because he's always in the pocket. He's not outside of it. He's just. He's simple for himself. He says that. But when I listen to Synchronicity and the Police, and I hear Stuart Copeland, and I'm going, they're doing reggae, rock, jazz.
Yeah.
And Copeland, and of course Sting.
Very casual drummer I think he was there then. I think I was a little starstruck because I was like, oh shit, is that Stuart Copeland? I never see.
Wasn't
anywhere.
Ringo and Stuart Copeland there? You told me, and I was so jealous at one of the EB events.
Actually, that was my birthday.
That was your birthday
last year.
Were they your birthday gift? I'm gonna hang out with Ringo.
It was quite peppered with musicians that were
lots of
head turners. But by the way, back to EB events, I think a lot of great people play these events for EB, which you work tirelessly with, and it's such a great event, and it's such an important thing to help, and we meet the kids, and they always the performances are great. The kids are always so friendly and sweet. They're having the toughest time out there, which we can talk about. But some of those nights, I even think I think I did it once. I think Dana might have done it. Zach Galifianakis, always good. There's always like comedy and music. I think Chris Cornell maybe one night in the old days. So we are very blessed with those parties, but they're very, very actually important events, which ties into this documentary about EB that Dana and I are watching. It's very, very strong stuff, and it's very pulls at the heartstrings. I will say that.
Well, we're really feeling fortunate that it's now out there on Netflix. I think you mentioned
Netflix. Matter of Time. That's all you have to. Matter of Time.
Yeah, it will serve as a education on anybody who asks has curiosity. Anybody who asks us about what is epidermolysis bullosa, what is this EB. This can forever serve as the answer to all the questions, and you really get to know not only the kids and their families and the challenges, but you get to meet these incredible people working on this whole community's behalf, meaning the researchers and the genetic scientists, genetic researchers. You know, they say this thing about heroes, something like, you know, heroes aren't made. It's more people faced with, you know, incredible circumstances or facing difficult consequence. And that is where these heroes are born. And this film it's really full of them. Because you see how heroic and courageous these kids are.
Oh my God.
You see what the families go through, what the siblings go through. And you also see that these, you know, genetic researchers going at it day after day with the funding that's provided to them through these fundraisers. It's such a, I'm so glad you get to know these people on a personal level, because you see it's not just, you know, people in lab coats, you know, punching the clock. This is their life's work. They're dreaming about it. They're coming to work each day, thinking about the new approach, trial and error. They feel so close. You know, it's a monogenic condition, meaning it's just one mutated gene in the DNA. They've isolated that gene. So now they're just trying to, you know, be able to fix that. And, you know, the hope on the horizon is not only that process, when they figured out how to unlock this key, it would not only, you know, we're on the forefront, you know, we're like on the runway at this time of genetic research, EB in particular. But once that lifts off, it'll help thousands and thousands of other genetic skin disorders.
Sure, yeah. Because the kids, first of all, when I see them, I'd see a lot of the same ones every year at the event, and always upbeat, always cool kids, always fun, up for having a good time. I know they don't get to do that much fun stuff. It's just even some of the scientists and doctors are saying when they get stuck, they go, we have these breakthroughs, and then when it's stuck, you're just really helping with the pain. It's not really helping them. You're just like, I can't imagine. So you're doing a good thing, and everyone over there, obviously Jill, your wife, is working hard, and just to be a part of it. And we get to go just once a year and help, or different little events you have. But man, I'm telling you, they deserve a break. That's for sure.
Well, and this film is about, it was 2 years ago, we really wanted to get the whole community together in Seattle. It was a whole day full of symposiums. It was basically an EB summit with doctors, donors, families. And then the music was just supposed to be kind of a reason to get together around the campfire at the end of the night. Yeah. And I will say it was difficult. It just, the songs had more weight looking out in the crowd and seeing my friends, the doctors, seeing my friends, the families and the kids. It became very emotional, and they filmed it and really not thinking, you know, we were just kind of trying to document it. But then the more we saw, and then this great filmmaker, Matt Finlan, who we were working with, another great Canadian, he was able to, and I can't think of anybody else who could have done this, really, because he had been working with EB stuff and with us for probably about 5 years at that point. But at that point, knowing the sensibilities of the families, knowing them personally, and he was able to kind of ask them to be part of their lives and film some things that were uncomfortable, and film some instances that would take courage to allow it to be filmed. And it's really a great testament.
It's a wake-up call for people to watch it, you know, so I think it's necessary sometimes to say this is really what's going on here.
Yeah, because I don't, you know, even a few of the folks that have come to the events over the years, the ones at Gerbett's house in California, they they didn't really understand it until the film. So that kind of reminds you that there was a lot of education that was that seems to be welcome now that people are seeing it. We're getting so much good feedback already.
For sure.
It's very interesting that it's one gene, because I'm sort of casually know a cardiologist, P.K. Shaw, at Cedars-Sinai, and he's in their research labs. And a lot of times it's like 20 different genes, 30 different genes, but just one gene. I'm very hopeful. I'm hoping that AI, for whatever monstrosity it may bring to us, is also going to go, make these
some good,
leap forward. And I'm hoping that within 5 or 10 years, cancer is pretty much fixed. And I pray that this one is too. Yeah. And many other scleroderma, which is an autoimmune disease primarily, but it reminds me of that because David and I went to a few of those with Bob Saget.
With Saget, yeah.
And when you see a child, pretty little girl in a wheelchair, and then she has a pink bow in her hair, I had both Bob Saget and I, God rest his soul, we were just done after that. We had to go out and do comedy, but it was just like, So the documentary, I'm sure, is just completely heart-wrenching, but you can't ever bang the drum hard enough for the amount of suffering that happens ad hoc around the world. These parents, this just happened. And so I couldn't respect you more for taking this on, not for a day or a week. I think it's been 15 years of this foundation. And so kudos to you. Thank you.
Well, it's a good team. It's a great board. We do something called venture philanthropy, which is a newer model. So if we fund research and something happens because of the research, positive. And for example, you talked about pain earlier, David. We've been able to come out with now 3 FDA approved treatments, not cures, but just treatments for the pain, for the wounds.
Yeah, great.
It's gene therapy, which is a newer thing. And, what you said, we might be in that perfect, there is a wave of technology, even going back 5-7 years, computing power really helped, map the human genome, etc. So, it being a single mutation, we're lucky in that way, because think of all the variables with the 20, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But this hopefully would be, it is the start to cracking these codes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a hopeful time in medicine for sure.
Yeah,
we're in
all this new stuff.
Paradigm shift. Mm-hmm.
Well, those parties at Gervitz's, the fundraisers are great. Everyone has a good time, and in spite of what's going on, but we hope the kids come and get a breather. I know there's a lot of celebrities. We don't have to name them all, but there's a lot of people that really show up and help out, and I think it's fun for everybody.
So people should watch the documentary. Everyone,
documentary on Netflix.
Watch the documentary, and they'll know if they want to make a donation. Is it there, or we can also put it in our intro or talk about it now?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the information, I think it's more if you look it up. It's just, it stands as a film on its own, and EBRP, excuse me, EBRP is the name of the organization. And like I said, we've been able to streamline the book, all the things that you want in an organization, including, I will say, these angel donors that come in and just take care of all the administrative costs for every year. It's a big deal. Which means all of these funds that are raised go direct to research. We have so many reasons to be proud of this, and now to be able to be proud of the film. It feels, we're making more progress than getting setbacks. So we're in a good space.
Nice.
And really being here with you guys and talking about it, it means a lot to us. So on behalf of everybody, we thank you.
For sure.
Glad to help.
Spread the word.
EB Research Partnership, or EBRB, if that helps. EB Research. So you remember the RB Research Partnership.
The Emmy-winning comedy Scrubs is back. The beloved original cast, including Zach Braff, Donald Faison, Sarah Chalk, Judy Reyes, and John C. McGinley, Scrub it back in at Sacred Heart Hospital for all new hilarious and heartfelt stories. And there's a healthy injection of colorful new characters, including a fresh group of newbie interns and co-workers / nemesis, Vanessa Bayer and Joel Kim Booster.
The new season of Scrubs, new Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
I have another question before I get rid of you is Song Sung Blue. Look who's in it. Not really Eddie Vedder, but
Vedder Eddie.
Incredible stimulation.
Yeah.
Did you see it yet, Eddie?
That was a surprise. Well, they sent me the script.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But it was really, they were really sweet people to know and a story worth telling. And, you know, you talk about going from playing drums on your mom's cookbook to, you know, this guy, Lightning, he had a dream and he wasn't going to let it go. And it was, again, very, you know, what I will say is that to think that years after he passed, you know, his spirit has to be out there somewhere knowing and just inflated with pride, knowing that not just they made a film, but fucking Hugh Jackman plays him. It's pretty amazing. And
couldn't imagine. Yeah, for sure.
And Kate Hudson's amazing as Claire. She's really amazing.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it. I didn't even know it was real. I'm in the middle of it just thinking I like Neil Diamond. I sang one of his songs in one of my movies. I went and saw him in concert and I was like, oh, this sounds like it's up my alley, just on the peripheral, you know, and then here comes Eddie Vedder calling him, but I didn't know that was real either. So I found out later it was real. You did call.
Yeah, they were I knew this other
sort of someone you heard about. You just heard that they were out there and it was kind of funny and they were doing something and you're like, let's bring them out.
Well, Milwaukee had this interesting little scene of odd acts. Another one was called The Frogs, which was a two brothers that would play songs like Adam and Steve, you know, dress up in pink sailor suits. It was a thing. But Nirvana loved them. This friend of ours, Bob Whitaker, Mudhoney, we loved them. And I think they turned us on to Lightning and Thunder. And you just wanted them to, you know, another guy, Wesley Willis out of Chicago, you know, you had an opportunity because the light was shining on you to share that light with some
very cool
folks that you thought deserved it. And, you know, it wasn't always easy because then they might think like, oh, you know, here we go. And it's not, you know, it's hard. You know, you hope they can handle it.
Well, it's so nutty. I mean, you called them. That's a big deal. Then Hugh Jackman plays them down the line, but you just never know. It's such an odd business, and they're in front of a big crowd for you guys. And did he call you to? Did he ask you to sing with him? Is that what it was? And that was real?
Backstage, yeah, I think he asked. And
that's how it's depicted, something like that. And then you go out there and sing with him, which is what a blast.
Yeah, they were very sweet, and it was a big crowd for him, and that was nice. Their cup was filled for a little bit there, and then that movie's filled with you know, there's some combustion, you know, accidents happen in their lives, and they have to deal with that, and it's a real story.
Yeah, very interesting. Dana, you don't know this,
Dana,
but,
we were gonna.
Yeah, for a moment.
I was excited for SNL.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't even believe you were even possibly going to do that with me. I was Eddie Vedder.
I want to sing
Chopping Broccoli, and I was trying to think of how to do it. You know, because it's at, you know, it wasn't within a sketch. I used to do it in my stand-up act, just solo with a little piano if there was one available. But yeah, I guess maybe I was going to start and then you were going to come out and she chop and then kind of wail. She chopped with your pipes, chopping broccoli, man.
Hysterical.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
Maybe one day.
We'll get real early.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that would have been a blast. Well, I can't sing. I mean, I'm a comedian. I can fake sing, you know.
No, you could sing.
I think you can sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can sing a little like Neil because for whatever reason, but a lot of people can. But I can't. When you see a real singer, you know, it's like a real drummer. I fake it at a lot of things. When you see a real talent in music, you're kind of like, okay, that was not my calling, but thank you. But we would have rocked it, and I would have blown you away. But my point is this, Eddie. Shit job.
Well, the thing is, I agreed to work with you, and then next thing you know, they had me dressed up as a pirate.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't really agree to that.
Were you in the New York? No, were you in the Broadway show?
You were on the Friday night show. Was it at Radio City Music Hall, or where was it?
I went to that.
Yeah, it was Radio
And you were
City.
in the pirate sketch. Yeah.
Well, they had a few bands, Lady Gaga and
Yeah, there was a bunch of people in there. I remember that. Lady Gaga.
I was at that show. It was fucking great. That one they should have aired. I guess they probably couldn't because all the music, but it was cool as shit.
That was good. And we were going to do Tom Petty at one of the shows.
We were
maybe one of the Bill Maher
birthday.
show. Yeah.
No, at your birthday, I said, or Bill Maher ruined it because he said, "Hey, are you going to stick around?" I said, "Yeah, I think we're all going to sing." And then he said, and
We have to leave.
and he goes, "No, Eddie's not going to sing." He said, "You shouldn't stick around because he's not going to sing. We're wrapping up." So the cake came up, and then he goes, "Everyone's taking off. Why is he sabotaging me? We were going to sing Tom Petty." And so I left. And then honestly, an hour later, Adam called and said, "Hey, where are you? You're up." And I go, "I thought everyone left." And then who got to steal my Tom Petty song with you? Was it Adam?
I think because you weren't there, we just didn't do it.
Oh, good. You know what? It's not the same.
Yeah.
Adam can sing, though. Adam's good.
Eddie can play guitar.
Yeah.
He was
Adam can play some guitar.
Yeah, he wanted
His life is all green lights. My God.
And he can write. Yeah, Adam.
He can write. I know.
But no, he can really play.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. I think we were in Seattle doing a gig. Was Norm there when you came out to see Sandler's tour in Seattle? Do you remember that? I think
Norm was there.
Tony Hawk.
There's been a couple, but Norm, yeah.
Eddie came out and did some Who song, and then we're like, okay, here's a real singer. Here we go.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We did Can't Explain, I think.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Maybe?
Hard to cover.
I think so.
I think that's where I snaked that hat.
I think it is. Where is it? We could be twinning right now.
It's so similar to that. It's the exact same. It mine doesn't have the writing up. Yeah, yours looks a little newer. You gave me the cheap one. But anyway, Dana, you'll have to come out with me and Eddie one day. It's complicated.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall.
Woo!
Or just listen to music. I'd love to listen to the Beatles with Dana.
Oh, are you kidding? That would be a dream. I'm not alone in this, but I'm equally as possessed as Conan O'Brien or J.J. Abrams or my brothers.
How can you do it? How can you be around Paul? It's just too crazy.
I just think that what happened in that Renaissance decade, and I love their early stuff because people say, well, later on they got better. I go, no. They were the best 2-minute pop band in history. Then those guys extrapolated into Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane as a double A side single. So I can't ever wrap my mind around. Don't even get me started on the Beatles, but
crazy.
I just
Did you just by random chance did you hear the Ringo was nice enough to come play? We were talking about that solo record a minute ago.
Yeah,
but, Earthlings and Ringo came. We were thinking, well, this really needs like a Ringo type thing, and then Andrew Watt, next thing you know, had him on the phone. We were going over to his house to have him play it, and it was so crazy because it literally right before our eyes, and he's such a young presence and energy anyway, but he looked like he was 25 years old,
he's got a style, certain style, and you go, oh my God, unmistakable.
Yeah, he's got that shoulder roll, and he didn't always go for the splash. He loves the toms, and he gets in the pocket. And this, I don't even know if this is true, but maybe you tell me. So Andrew Wyatt was at the SNL party, and Jimmy Fallon's there. Name drops, and they're going, we're big Beatle fans. We're talking about Abbey Road, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're big Beatle fans. Abbey Road. And I go, have you heard Revolver? And I think both of them said, yeah, I'm not really familiar. And Andrew too. I go, you guys haven't heard Revolver and you're Beatle fans? But anyway, that blew my mind. But I don't have a favorite. I think every album is just something magical,
My uncle had a Memorex tape, those strange little cassettes that was like an L, and it just said Revolver White Album. And that was one of my first forays into the heavy stuff.
Oh, just to hear it over and over.
Over and over. And I thought it was all one album, although, White Album and Revolver. That's a heavy listen. You can trip out as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, obviously Tomorrow Never Knows, but Sexy Sadie, Happiness is a Warm Gun. These are kind of these Lennon-y, just what do you ever call them?
Bungalow Bill.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Dear Prudence, Eleanor Rigby.
Incredible. Yeah.
And Your Bird Can Sing. 2 minutes of brilliance, in harmony.
Julia. I think Julia's in there.
Yeah, that's another Lennon. It's all
right, let's let Eddie go. He seems like a nice guy.
Do you have any last words for us?
Yeah, anything you want to tell us, Eddie, before you go?
Sum up. Here he comes. Pearl.
Oh, shoot. Well, I will. I was thinking about Marty and Martin Short.
Yeah.
And I know it's I heard he was magnificent at the service, and but I was going to share with you this funny thing that happened during COVID. But this is how quick we were talking about how quick people are, and so present company, me excluded. But then Marty calls up 4 months into COVID, just out of the blue, and he says, "Well, hello, Eddie. I was just checking in, see how my young friend is doing." And he said, "How are you, young man?" And I said, "I'm actually a little frustrated with myself, because what had happened when COVID hit, and I smoke and drink, and I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, this is it. It's a lung thing. It's a respiratory thing. Like, I got to drop this quick. Like, I'm going to die from this, some crazy fucking." So totally quit, feeling pretty good. And then about 4 or 5 months in, something started happening. I stressed out. Now I'm having a couple smokes, and now I'm having. So Marty said, I said, "Well, I'm frustrated with myself. I'm smoking again. I'd quit because of COVID." He said, "Oh, are you smoking? Are you talking pot or cigarettes?" I said, "Cigarettes." He said, "Oh, are you still waiting for more literature on that?" And that was the last time I ever had a cigarette.
Really?
Oh, for real?
Yeah, just like that.
Oh,
yeah, what a great!
I mean, maybe not really, but it makes for a better story.
You should never talk to him again, because he ended on such a hit. That's a great one.
Oh no, he's full of them.
It's true. He is full of them.
We love him.
Just one talk show appearance. He's got about 30 of those.
He was on my idol list. Him and Steve Martin in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
And
Still.
So in awe.
They're still out there doing shows.
I know. Between the two of them, you're like,
Gerbits. I gotta put them out there. I go, Mark, they're a little old. I don't care. 100 dates a year.
I love Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder's this guy.
If I had his money, I'd throw mine away.
That's some good Mark Gerbits right there.
We went snorkeling. He's my friend.
Who's better than you? Who's better than you? You're handsome.
He sat with me on a canoe.
This is the thanks he gets. This is the thanks he gets for hosting all these backyard parties. He gets.
I know. And having all comedians, and we all just make fun of him.
No,
all
he
his clients
loves
are comedians.
us. He wants us to